Money is not just a tool. It is not just a piece of paper or a digital number. Money is a technology. But more importantly, money is a language. It is the language that we use to communicate and exchange our economical value to one another. It is the medium of exchange that we use to facilitate trade. And it serves as a common unit of account to value your contribution, labor, and someone else's products, goods and services into the marketplace. Essentially, it is the signal that coordinates the effort of 8 billion people. Imagine if we changed the definition of a meter or a second every single day. If a meter was 100 centimeters today, but 98 tomorrow, and 95 the next day. Could you build a house? Could you engineer a bridge? No, you could not. The structure would collapse. But this is exactly what we have done to our money. When you break the money, you break the signal. And when the signal is broken, society begins to fracture. We tend to think of inflation as an economic problem, a rising price tag at the grocery store. But the mindful gains philosophy adds to that something more. It goes much deeper than that. We argue that inflation is a moral problem. It is a corruption of the truth. In our previous videos, we built the fortress of the self. Today, we are going to look outward. And we are asking the uncomfortable question: what happens to the soul of a civilization when its money is based on a lie? In the 18th century, an economist named Richard Cantillon discovered a dark truth about the money printing. He realized that when new money is created, it is not distributed equally for everyone. This is called the Cantillon effect. The new money goes to the privileged first: the government, the big banks, the corporations, those who are the closest to the printer. They are the ones who get to spend this new money before prices rise. They are privileged to buy assets, stocks, and real estate at the old cheap prices. But by the time that money trickles down to you, the wage earner, the saver, the pensioner, the prices have already gone up. Your purchasing power has been diluted to pay for their enrichment. This is not a free market economics. This is theft. It is a silent transfer of wealth from the poor and the middle class to the politically connected wealthy. It violates the core Stoic principle of justice. It rewards proximity to power rather than the creation of value. This is why you feel like you are running faster just to stand still, while you are just trapped into the broken fiat system. The system is engineered to extract the value of your labor away from you, invisible hour by invisible hour. What does this theft do to our behavior? It forces the entire society to engage into high time preference. When the money you work for loses its value, saving becomes irrational. If your money will buy less next year, you are not incentivized to hold it. You must spend it now. You must consume. This creates a weak and disposable culture. We stop building things that last for 100 years because we can't calculate 100 years into the future. We build cheap plastic goods, cheap glass buildings, and cheap, fleeting relationships. Look at architecture. Look at art. Look at the quality of our products. There has been a degradation of quality that perfectly mirrors the degradation of the currency. When we cannot store value, we cannot store excellence. And it also corrupts our focus. Why does everyone have to be an investor today to get ahead in life financially? Why does a dentist or a teacher need to constantly watch the stock market and worry about the Fed? Because their savings are melting. They are forced to gamble in the casino just to preserve what they earned. This distracts them from their true craft, and it steals their peace. It is a mass psychosis of financial anxiety, driven entirely by the nature of our money. So how do we return to truth? We need a system that cannot be cheated. We need a system that is rooted in the laws of physics, not the whims of politicians. We need a proof of work system. That is why Bitcoin is different, because it requires energy to produce. This is non-negotiable if you want to have an honest system for everyone. Because you cannot print energy. And you cannot fake it either. You must use real-world resources to create the most robust digital asset. This is the re-establishment of the connection between effort and reward. In the fiat world, you can get something for nothing if you own the printer. But in the Bitcoin world, there is no free lunch. This creates a system of absolute fairness. The rules here apply to everyone equally, from the billionaire to the student. This is ethical and honest money. It is money that respects your labor and time. When you hold Bitcoin, you are holding abstract, frozen energy. You are holding the proof that work was done. By adopting a money that cannot be cheated, we incentivize a society that stops trying to cheat. We move from a culture of rent-seeking and politics to a culture of production and truth. But there is an even darker consequence to fiat money, and that is an infinite war. Historically, if a king wanted to go to war, he had to tax his citizens. And if the citizens didn't want the war, they wouldn't pay, and the war would end. Because the cost was immediate and felt by the people. But with fiat money system, the government does not need to tax you directly. They simply print the money out of thin air to build the bombs and pay the soldiers. They pay for the war today by inflating your currency tomorrow. Inflation allows governments to wage endless wars without the explicit consent of the taxpayer. They hide the cost in the devaluation of the currency. But the Bitcoin, being fixed in its supply, cannot be printed to fund conflict. And if a government wants to wage war on a Bitcoin standard, they must ask the people for the money. This acts as a natural constraint on violence. Sound money is a prerequisite for lasting peace. And finally, consider the morality of energy. Critics say that Bitcoin network uses too much. But as we discussed, Bitcoin is the scavenger of wasted energy. It monetizes stranded power, subsidizing the build-out of renewable grids. But more importantly, since when is using energy bad? Energy is the core of human flourishing. We use energy to heat our homes, purify our water, and travel the globe. But Bitcoin uses that energy to secure the truth. To say that securing a global, incorruptible monetary network is a waste of energy is to say that truth and freedom have no value. Mindful gains. Practitioners believe that they are the most valuable things on earth, because without them the human civilization cannot thrive in peace and harmony. Every time you buy Bitcoin, you are not just making an investment towards your freedom, but you are also casting a vote. You are voting against theft. You are voting against the corruption of the Cantillon effect. You are voting against the culture of the now and the endless funding of war. You are voting for truth. You are voting for a system where the rules are the same for everyone. This is the true ethics of fair money. And when you fix the money, you fix the world. But to fix the world, you must first fix yourself. So far you have the mindset, the defense, the custody, and now the moral conviction. And now you are ready for the final step, the execution of mastery. In the next video, we will synthesize everything into a practical lifestyle protocol. The Architect's Protocol, daily habits for a sovereign life. Be curious, stay humble, and keep learning. Subscribe, stand for truth, and start to build your legacy. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice.